Beverly Orck from Columbus, Georgia. Today I'm going to be making an appetizer. I'm calling it ham and cheese Palmier. Actually, it's a fancy word for elephant ear. I'm going to be using puff pastry that I've let thaw from my freezer. I'm going to roll it out. I've got a little bit of flour here so that my rolling pin doesn't stick to the dough. I've got an egg that I'm going to be brushing the palmiers with to make them come up and shine when they're baked. This is a very, very simple recipe. It's only got 3 ingredients. I'm using the puff pastry dough. I'm also going to be using the garden vegetable cream cheese. It's already got the vegetables in there, so I don't have to do any chopping. I'm using some smoked ham that I finely chopped. Okay, I'm going to start with some flour on my dough. I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom so as I roll this it doesn't stick too much. Put a little on the rolling pin as well. Okay, what I'm doing here is just rolling this dough out to get the seams that were where it was folded, to get those out and to make it just a little bit bigger. I don't want to roll this too thin, but I do want to get the seams out. Okay, that's pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to take my cream cheese now and spread it on the dough. In case you guys don't know where Columbus, Georgia is, we are on the western side of the state. You cross the river and you'd be in Alabama. We're about 30 minutes north of Albany, where Miss Paula's from. So we're practically neighbors. When she lived there, of course. You'll see all the specks of vegetables in this. I'm spreading this out to about 1/4 of an inch on the sides. I don't want to get too far because I don't want it to all come running out. I've got 2 sheets here, starting with the first one. I'm going to use the entire container of cream cheese between the 2 sheets. Okay. Got about 1.5 cups of chopped ham. I used a chopper here to make this extremely fine. You can also put this in a food processor if you like. Or you can chop it with knives. Just make sure you get it very, very fine. I'm going to use about half of it on this one and half on the next sheet. Okay. Okay, to do this, all I'm going to do is fold one side in. I'm doing this on parchment paper. If you've got another kind of pastry sheet, you can use that as well. This is just what I had. So I'm folding one side in. Now I'm folding the next side in. Okay. Pressing down a little bit. I'm kind of pressing the ham into the cream cheese. Alright, now I'm going to fold it one more time in. And one more time in on itself. Okay. My dough is still very, very cold. If you start working with this and it gets to room temperature, you've waited too long. It won't slice nicely for you. So what I'm going to do is get a serrated edge knife. I'm going to cut these ends off and discard them. Okay, they don't have any filling in them. Nobody wants to get one that doesn't have filling. Okay. And I'm just going to slice them to about 1 inch thick. I'm using a serrated edge knife so that it goes through the dough easier. lay them on a sheet pan that I've also put parchment paper on. Can you cut? Right. Last thing I've got to do is take this egg, beat it up, and I'm just going to brush glaze on the dough so that it'll come up nice and brown. Need to get my little brush. Okay. Taking a little brush here and just brushing each one of them so that the dough gets nice and golden brown. I'm going to put them in a 400-degree oven for 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to check on them after 20 to see how they're doing. I don't want them to go too long. It's just to cook the dough. Always check, and don't. My oven won't cook the same as your oven does, so make sure that you check after about 20 minutes. Okay, in they go. We'll be back in 20 minutes. Okay, my timer's got about 40 seconds on it, and it's closer to 30 minutes in this batch than it was to 20. I did check at 20, but it wasn't quite done yet. So I'm going to turn my timer off and go ahead and pull them out. I'm going to let them sit here on the pan for about 10 minutes to cool before I transfer them to a serving platter. Okay, here are our rolls. Elephant ears. You can see the little shape by the way we folded it. These would also be good if you just rolled up that dough and cut it in a spiral roll instead of the elephant ears. But for something different, I think this looks good. Enjoy!